Good morning to day 282. Guys are all here, 8:45. We've had a quick meeting, obviously out on site, to make sure that we're on top of the actual steel elements, and we're just compiling a list of things that need to be done. New to the channel, please like and subscribe. We've gone up by, about 10 subscribers yesterday, which is obviously quite nice. Bear in mind we've only got 500 odd, so go up by 10 is a good percentage. So let's keep that going. Let's get liking, let's get commenting, and let's get sharing. Caring is sharing. Right, little things today. We've got to fill some holes. So the painter is with me today. We're going to be fixer-foaming some of the actual holes that have been done by the guys doing the plasterboard. They probably thought this was going to be a bigger socket, i.e. like this one, a double, but it's not, it's a single, so that's how it's got to be filled. The WC in here, all of the skirting boards that have been cut have been taken away to be painted. They're going to be painted and fixed today. The top of the cistern, unfortunately, as you can see, it's rough as old boots. That's my fault. We've tried putting this decor on. So rather than, he says, put it on the right way. So this decor itself is a bead, corner bead, but rather than being a corner bead, it actually is a finish. But it just doesn't sit on there nice enough. So unfortunately, that's going to be a proper corner bead. That's going to be a fill all the way down to about here, and it's going to be more sanding. Anyway, splashbacks on, so painted white behind, fixed and siliconed, that's all done. So the sink now unit is in, the tap is working, the unit is siliconed, everything is in as it should be, and there's no leaks, thank God. The mirror needs to be connected up to the electrics. Look at that hunk of a man. This is, as you can see, sitting a bit proud at the moment because there's conduit on the wall, so the conduit needs to be trimmed off. Can't really see it. There's conduit there, so that's got to be trimmed, that's got to be connected. LED mirrors then done. This is going to be fitted and sanded down, so we're going to get this all papered up so it doesn't get covered in crap. The toilet is all siliconed in as well. The boards will be painted and fitted today. I need to sit and think about whether I'm going to leave this finish as it is or whether I'm going to plasterboard it. Skim it. It is rough as old boots. The ceiling's beautiful because we plasterboarded that, went through the pain of doing that. And as you can see, we've caulked around here and painted. A few of you have actually commented, why are you caulking? The reason why we caulk, when the wall is plastered and this horrible finish, bear in mind it's been painted, so it's smooth, as in it's sealed, but it's obviously got this horrible finish rather than the nice smooth finish. If you tape and compound in the corners like you probably should do normally, you're going to land up having this as smooth as the plasterboard because you then have to sand it, which means when you look at the wall, you're going to see smooth, then you're going to see this, which means it will stand out. So the reason why we caulk, just to let you guys know, is that it just saves you having to come down the wall with any form of smooth, sanded surface and then having a complete difference in the wall. So that was just to let you guys know, in the cottage we're doing the same thing. There's a small gap going all the way around. We caulk it and paint it like we've done in here. As you can see, it looks okay. Now it may over time draw and shrink a little bit. This one's been done now for a good 2 weeks. It hasn't as yet, but if it does, then we'll have to go over and re-caulk. But at the moment, this is the same thing. This has been painted and caulked. There's no issues there. But yeah, that's the reason why. So today, I've got the European door locks. As you can see, they look very different than the American ones. So I've now got to bore through here they're 25mm. But unfortunately, they say go 28 to 29, so I'm going to drill a 29 in America. The only thing you guys have, I think, is 1 3/8, which I think is equivalent to 29mm. So I've got to drill a 29mm hole through there to install that, to ensure that the door latch closes. And then I've also got to do the same thing underneath with this one here. So the reason why we go with these is that square there, number one. On the American ones, it's like a plus sign. It's probably about 5mm long by about 1-2mm thin, and it goes through the cross. But ours is square. You can't really see it from that bag, but it's square, the same as these, but smaller. As you can see, the square. And again, our squares on our latches are bigger than the American ones. I'm not too sure what the size is, but they're different. The other difference is also our latches are 76mm long on average, which I think is 3¼ inches, where the American ones are 3. And this is 56mm center, if I remember rightly. whereas the American ones are 60 or 60 something. So anyway, completely different locks, completely different latches, and obviously I brought in the English handles, European handles. So we have no choice but to source these and do it the European way, which is a bit of a pain in the arse. I probably wouldn't have bothered if I know what I know now. So anyone that wants to build in the Caribbean, 90%, 95% of what's over here is from the US, not from Europe. Which means if you're bringing in European stuff, then you're going to have the same problem I have. You get a better selection and a nicer looking handle, that being route to America, but the latch element is completely different. And to show you what I mean, if I look at the front door, we put this on quickly just to make sure we had a solid lockable door. As you can see, ugly as sin. They look the same, but the barrels are very different, and the locks are very different as well. The locks come out like a ball like that, whereas ours don't come out like a ball like that. Ours come out with a very square, again, it's got a cap on it so you can't really see it. The locks themselves are very square. So anyway, so I've got to fit that today. At the moment, the doorman's not coming and hasn't come for God knows how long, so I'm just going to do it myself. This door needs painting in a satin wood, and this needs to be put in. So today I'm going to get the painter to do this. I'm going to bore that out first. He can paint, I can fit. Door furniture. Power furniture's got to go on as well, just to tidy that up. A bit of paint on there, so we need to tidy up some of the sockets, make sure they're all working, which they are, and then obviously finish that. This has got to be filled because that was where we had an electric cable coming through here, out here to a light switch, and we had an outside light, so that's got to be patched up. Door frame's got to be sanded down, and we're going to satin wood that, and I need to think about what to do here. We haven't finished this yet, just because the window is going to be going in, but I may very well get some plasterboard on there and get that finished off. Sorry, incoming call. It's like this side, it's not returned properly, so we need to get that sorted out. We could obviously put a bit of plasterboard here. We probably could put a little bit of 2x4 on here and plasterboard here and get that finished off right to there, so that when the window comes into the side, we fit it from the outside, and it's done. So yeah, we've got to do that. What else we've got to do today? We have a list. So fit the chandelier, crystals, that's got to be done, but it's not on a high priority list. Varnish the cottage door, both sides. It's been done on one side, but it's been left, and if we leave it any longer, it's going to start getting penetrated with damp. Not that you get a lot of damp here, but it is humid. Paint the skirting boards that we cut yesterday. Paint the storage floor. Connect the storage mirror. Fill the light sockets with foam. Paint the bathroom door, satin wood we just talked about. Finish all skirting boards in and around the house that need caulking and painting, etc., etc. The list goes on and on. So me and him are going to split that list in two. He's going to do some and I'm going to do some. We need to get the steels cut out of the door frame here and the one around the corner here, so that we can actually get the little slopey steps made to stop the water going in. So that's something that he's going to be doing today in between obviously doing the front wall. The beams, we've had a lot of comments on the beams and the steels, which I massively appreciate. Obviously we're very early in the stage of the roof at the moment. When I say early, we've got to complete by bloody Sunday. But the actual roof itself has got smocks going in there. It's got to be connected yet. There's been a lot of comments about how you go about connecting and what the best way to do it is. Things are very different here. Tyson in the house. Say morning, Tyson.
Morning, people.
So the roof itself is obviously nowhere near finished yet. Huh?
Morning, Jackie. What are you doing good at work?
Whoever Jackie is. Say your girlfriend. So we've got to tie the corners in. They don't. One of the guys on here mentioned that you bend the steels up and connect them that way. They don't do it this way. They do a full corner. So the bars come down. Sorry, as you can see here, the beam comes all the way down to the corner, and then they take a bar all the way around that corner. So they connect that beam and the beam around the corner with one solid L-shaped beam. And they do that for the bottom one, the middle one, that one, and the top one, all the way around. How much they lap over, I'm not too sure. They should lap over by quite a bit, obviously. So I need to talk to them about how much they're going to lap over by. So that's fine. And they obviously connect into the starter bars that are already going through the base. So the starter bars all the way along here. There's clearly nothing here. but there will be some beams already in here they're going to connect into, so I need to work out and find out how they're going to connect into this piece here. This is the most important part. Obviously we've got the beam hanging out the top here. This will be hired and will connect with that. At the moment this hasn't been smocked. So again, one of you guys commented on it's not straight, I don't know the way it's sitting. It's not been smocked yet. So it's got to be smocked up in the air, but obviously it's going to be smocked up quite high because the blocks here are already taken up higher than the wood, and this is going to be smocked as well. So you can see a smock in there already, which is making that look even worse. So this is going to be smocked quite high, but it will all be level at some stage when it's actually in and done. So the rebar guys are up there doing what they've got to do. Sorry about the wind, bear with me. Morning guys. We still haven't had any response from the infra on the jacks, which I need to chase up again this morning. That's something I definitely need to do. We can't put the 8x3s in until that is done. And I keep saying Tuesday for the port. It's not Tuesday, it's actually going to be Monday. So if I get around this corner here, if I can get out of the wind, I'll quickly show you what's going on. You can see this beam here was quite central earlier. We had to get this finished off, so that was pulled over. This is now going to connect into this here. So these beams here are already in the house concreted. This is going to be connected into here. This is then going to be extended all the way down and connected into here. Again, as you can see the big 1-inch bars at the bottom there, this is all going to be smocked up in the air. That'll be off this beam by at least 2.5 inches, and it will connect into here and go straight. I think it's actually been smocked in the middle, if I can see it. Yeah, so it's already got a smock in the middle already. So as you can see, it is going to go up, so we are going to have to crank these and make sure that we can connect into these nicely. And also the starter bars we've had put in here and the ones existing in here, they will all connect into this, and these connect into this. And then you've got the corner over here. He is. Also, Tyson, make sure they don't drag the steel on the concrete as well. They're just scoring all the actual concrete, look. Yeah, and as much as it's not exactly the prettiest surface in the world, I don't want it scored. We've also got the pipe work due to be delivered today from Carter's. So this obviously has got to be put through. Now, the site manager's talking about boxing this so we can still flex this in and out and get this set up properly. I personally wouldn't do that. I would get this set with the run it needs, and I'd concrete this column and that in one. So even if it just comes down and stops here and then we redo this later, it's just about trying to prevent any form of cold joint in that corner. Because as we know, around that corner, if I get in the wind, these are the 4-foot sides that are being made that have got to go up. Get around this corner out the wind. As we said yesterday, we've got the beam that's now been made in here, which is going to tie into here and into here. And it's obviously going to tie into that, so it's now going to become a more solid corner that would have been out of block. But here I would have literally got this dug all the way out and get that laid, and then I would literally pour concrete all the way down and into here and into that way and this way. But anyway, I'm not too sure what I think their aim at the moment is to box that, pour this separate, and then do that afterwards, so they've got a bit of flexibility to make sure they get the run needed. But I would get this dug out now, get that hole punched through. Bear in mind we're right next to the bloody water pipe as well. It's one thing I haven't seen. It's just around there. There's water pipe down there, so we've got to make sure that this pipe has got the right run and goes under, if not over, the mains water pipe. So yeah, we've got to make sure that this is sealed here, because what we don't want is this filling with water at some stage when there's big rain and it coming around here and sitting here and finding its way in, because it will find its way in. I mean, that is the driveway that way, but that there is the garage, so I'm pretty sure we'll be okay with regards to water going in that way. But the more, the less cold joints we can create, the better. Okay, what else? Plumber's got to come out today because I've still got the smell of sewage in my kitchen. We worked out there was a couple of traps missing, so we've had traps put on. I'm still getting the smell. I think what's happened is the architect originally put the kitchen sink on the wrong side of the kitchen, and the plumbers kept on using the old drawing. So I think they actually put a waste, a hot and a cold pipe in the wall where the kitchen was put, where this kitchen sink was put incorrectly. And I think what's happened is the kitchen fitters have come in and actually fit the tall larder units against the wall, and I think as a result of that, a cap or a trap has been missed off of that particular waste. And I think that is coming through the back of the units, finding its way all the way down and coming out in an area that we can't fathom. So at the moment I've got the smell of crap in my kitchen, and I think it's actually coming from a trap that we can't see. So, but anyway, everything should have a trap on it. What they should do really is put a trap underneath the floor, run the pipework up to the existing place where it's going to sit, and if it's a sink, it has another trap added. If it's a dishwasher, another trap added. I think they actually rely, say they, I think the Bayesian concept is you rely on the actual unit itself and the trap itself rather than traps elsewhere. So everything here is connected to the septic tank. So everything should literally here have a trap before it even comes out of the ground. That way, if you never use it or it gets used for something that isn't a sink, then it's always got a way of trapping the smell. But at the moment, I don't think that's the case. So I think I've managed to find the solution to it, which means we are going to have to somehow either pull the back of the units that are in there out and redo it, because obviously they've all been put in and they're bloody big and they're bloody heavy. So we're going to have to try and find a way of taking the back skin of the larder unit out in order to get to the trap, in order to put something on it. I think it's one of those pipes that doesn't come through the floor and underneath, so we can't get it from the basement. I think it's one that comes in the concrete, so I think it's actually hidden. But anyway, I think that's where the smell's coming from, fingers crossed. Now, we may have the same problem in here as well, because everything in here, so we've got the septic tank down here, look, we've got the well at the back, we've got the septic tank here, and that runs all the way down here into this manhole, and this manhole runs all the way down up there into that manhole, and they come over into this manhole, and this manhole goes to that manhole, and so eventually the smell finds its way all the way around the whole system. So if there's any pipe that comes into the cottage or the house or the garage that doesn't have a P-trap on it or some form of cap, then the smell from the septic tank is going to make its way out, and it's going to be an unpleasant smell. Perfect example, over in the far side of the garage in that corner there, look, there's a hot and cold pipe, and there's a waste pipe there. Now, I can guarantee you that doesn't have a trap on it now, because it's going to have a sink on it and have a trap added. So at this present time, if we take off what looks like blue tape, if we take that blue tape off, it's going to stink. So anyway, note to self, if you're building in the Caribbean, any form of waste pipe, 90% of the time they don't add a trap under the ground. It's only what's in the house. Yeah, so as you can see here, look. So this is where the sink itself, there's going to be a sink in this corner. There's obviously a hot and cold, and there's a trap, a waste. But that won't have a waste. That's meant to go in elbow down to the floor, and wherever it is down there, there should be a trap before it connects into the waste itself. That's what doesn't happen here. So it's purely going to be relying on the little trap that sits underneath the sink that goes here. So as soon as that is taken off, it will fumigate this room in 2 minutes. So, back into the house very quickly. We had the same problem in here. It smelt in here until that was added. And it smelt in here until that was connected. Now there's water in the toilet doing the same trap issue. Morning, how are you? And now we've got the trap added in here. It's gone, but I think over here, I'm pretty sure the architect had the sink being here rather than over there. So as you can see, we had water put in here for coffee machines and stuff that would go into here, but I'm pretty sure there somewhere is a trap. Now, we can probably get this one taken out. Bear in mind, this has all been fixed from behind before it was put in, which is not the cleverest thing to do. All of the back plates on stuff this big should be added after they've been put in, so that you can actually take them out if the service is behind. But feeling down here, where this hole's been cut out, I can feel a screw just there, which is screwing straight into here, which means that is connected to this. So it's not been fitted very well either. But anyway, so to get that out is going to be a real pain in the backside. But I think that is where the issue is. I will go down in the basement in a minute to find out whether that does go through and come out underneath, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't. We do have an air conditioning hole here, so it's going to be easy to find where it will be. So if it is, then I can at least tap into that. Okay, so all the scat boards have been taken out of here, which is again same thing. So they're being painted, they'll be fitted. And anything like, this here, we'll get that trimmed, we'll get that filled properly, and we'll get that painted so it looks nice. Joins that have now drawn, we'll get those done, and then we're just waiting for them to draw so we can actually get them painted. Okay, right, so I've got to get these fitted upstairs. Again, these are just like the little tiny vent holes up in the ceiling here, going right through the ceiling, if you remember rightly, going all the way through the ceiling here. We've actually got the extractor, if we ever find one. That pipe goes up into the ceiling all the way along here and comes out the wall above the garage. and we've also got the laundry room exhaust comes up into the ceiling, goes out through the side of the building above the garage, and there's also a breather from one of the toilets that has to, toilets have to breathe. When I was up there yesterday, you could really smell a smell coming out there as well. So so there's 3 pipes up there. There's 2 4-inch, and there's a 1.5 to 2-inch up there as well. So I've got these ones to go on. They aren't the prettiest thing in the world, but they're white, and obviously they allow air to go out, but not air to come in. So that we can get that done. That's got to go up today, and I've got to find something to go on the small one. I've also sourced these for the drive. So this is a nice solid drivable, drive overable, if that is such a word, that can go into the driveway outside. So where we're actually doing the drain, such a shame we can't use we can't get the depth needed to put the, a lot of people have recommended ACO drains. I think it's ACO. I've got the same thing obviously being used. Hang on. I've got the same thing being added, but I haven't got the depth. So what we're looking to potentially do is put that in here and then connect that pipe into a reducer into the 3-inch that will go into here, and we'll have 3 of those all the way along. So rather than obviously benching that out and taking it in, we'll have those put in so they're a little bit more pleasant on the eye. The downside is they've already pre-cut these holes, so we'll have to concrete them around. But anyway, so we'll get those put in today, 3 of those all the way along, and then we'll get a big one in a second. And we've got a bigger version of it to go into the downstairs element here. So this is going to suffer with quite a bit of water, log stroke flooding. So in this entrance here, we've actually got a pipe that's connected, and it shouldn't really be connected like this, but we've connected it to the system. So worst case scenario, the water will come into here. The downside is when this place floods, the wells in this area don't really work. So you're trying to take water to something that's already going to be overpowered. So I'm not too sure how that's going to pan out. But anyway, it will be a nice looking drain cover that will take water away when things aren't too bad, and it will struggle like everything else when things are bad. Which, in the day, apparently October, November is when we get bad rain here. So fingers crossed we don't get really bad rain. Anyway, other than that, pretty much this is where we are. Still got quite a lot to do, obviously. The main thing, number 1, is this thing up here, obviously trying to get the roof ready so that Monday we can pour. We have a company coming out to do the concrete. We have a concrete pump, and we also have obviously the company coming along with the concrete. So we've definitely got to be ready for it, that's for sure. So fingers crossed we will be ready for Monday. But we are on Thursday now, so there's a lot of work to get done and a very short space of time to do it in. So fingers crossed today we can make some serious progress. One thing I have seen today, which is completely off, there's lots of kite surfers that turned up this morning to go out. So as you can see, one kite out there, look, flying up and down. This is Long Beach, by the way. Long Beach is renowned, I was about to say famous. It's definitely renowned for great waves and great wind. And as a result of that, per day we probably get around about 1 to 10 kite surfers turning up to go out there and risk their lives and potentially break their necks. But it's good to see them, that's for sure. Put a toll on the road and start charging them. Anyway, have a great day, and I'll check in at some stage. Please like and subscribe and get commenting. Thank you. Okay, we're at 12:10. Whereabouts are the guys upstairs on the rebar front? Okay, let's have a quick look. Sorry about the mess. Mess was actually the camera mess, not the floor mess. Okay, so as you can see here, what they do here, the beam is now got these bars that are bent round, and that will tie in, and they'll do the same on the bottom. As you can see, these ones here, these ones are coming on the bottom and come up. They'll also do the same in the middle, the corners. As you can see, there's Rocky throwing out a few tunes. Rocky sending out a few tunes. So this has now been extended. You can see the crossover. You've probably got around about 2 foot, 2 and a bit foot there, crossing over each one of the beams. 2 at the base, 2 in the middle, 2 in the middle, 2 at the top. And then they see the whole corner. This whole corner is coming along here. So the corner is around about 3 foot. That side's about 3 foot. And again, that will be top, middle, and the 2 in the middle as well. Up here we're going all the way around. Beam's not connected yet, but that will run through the middle. This one obviously is now now going to start connecting into here. So they do the same thing. They'll literally probably go from about 2 foot here to 2 foot here, connect all those ones together. Let's get around here. Sorry about the wind, if there's any wind, by the way. Okay. So we've got the 1 inch ones now extended to here. Look, there's one beam coming through. So this has still got to be done. I'm going to box that as we said before. Sorry about my uneven recording. So as you can see now, they're going to be smocks here. Look, there's a smock here. This one's going to be raised up. This one's going to be raised up. So all of the smocks will be the same height all the way through. Ah, Tyson helping my wife with the old green-fingered garden friend. So this will carry on be smocked all the way through here to here. So this is now complete. But obviously we've got to extend into here. These have been cut back now. You see these have been cut off. So I'm not too sure what they're going to do there. But anyway, the wall's been finished. Let's get out of that wind, otherwise I'm deafening all of you. Nothing happening in here today, although Mel, the electrician, where are you? We need to get his backside in here. He's got some electricals to do. We need to try and make sure we get, again, we're going to put power for the garage in one corner here. We're going to put it in the other corner here. The garage door is going to be 6 meters wide, which is just over 19 feet. So it's one big door, and it's going to be one, as far as I'm aware, that rolls into itself above here. So as you said, we've taken the beam up. We're actually going to be 9 foot in here, and then we're going to formwork down manually out of wood the foot. The reason why we've done that is because we want to try and make sure if anything ever happens or goes wrong, we can access here, out the back here, with anything we can drive through. So in order to do that, 8 foot is going to restrict quite a few things. So if we build that down to 9 feet and then wood out of 1 foot, then if anything ever goes wrong, we can take that wooden down. Oh, it's going to be a ball ache to take garage door down on all the wood, but we'd be able to get something through here and something through here as well. So that's what we decided to do. So it's going to be a 9 foot opening when it's finished, but obviously then we're going to take that down to 8 feet and the garage door will go in. Now I'm under the impression that the garage door will literally be mounted here, and the track itself, and obviously the garage door will go down in the track itself. That's what I'm under the impression. However, I'm still waiting to get technical drawings from the company in the UK that I'm actually getting the door from, who are about as fast as, I don't know, what is slow? Slower than that, whatever that is. Inside, we've actually managed to, let me actually just pause. Just turning the music off, otherwise I'm not getting copyrighted. So, this has been a little bit neglected at the moment because 2, 3, 4 things that aren't on the list have been discovered. So painstakingly, I've had to take this bit of plasterboard that was on here all off because it was too wide. I.e., when you looked at it through here, it was too proud, which means the architrave would sit right out here and it wouldn't join at the top. So I've had to take the whole thing out, and then behind it is actually metal. So bonding anything to metal is bloody difficult. So we've had to put some corner beads in with some packers so that we can actually get some form of compound in there. Now hopefully we can get this done tomorrow, if not today. I need to know what I need to put on metal for compound to bond to the surface to bond to the metal. So anybody out there that can give me some solutions, let me know. But what I'm gonna have to do is obviously fill through here with the 90 compound, and then I'm gonna have to literally put something on here to enable the surface to have a compound adhered to it. So I put these in here now because there was holes in the metal here. So once I've actually put that on, then we should be able to compound that, sand it completely straight, and then the architrave hopefully will go all the way around and look nice. The other thing we've done is we've put this corner bead on in this bedroom because this was missing. So that's now done, which has got to be unfortunately filled and sanded, and that's enabled us to finish off here. So we've actually glued those on. And a handy little tip, if anyone wants to be able to do stuff on their own, these little 3-way corner wheels are great. You literally put whatever you've got underneath, leverage it up, shove one of the wheels underneath, and then a bed which is made out of solid oak, you can actually move quite easily. So yeah, that's another thing that's happened. What else has happened? We are also finishing off the skirting in here. So all the skirting is being filled. This floor's being painted. This storage room will end up being completely filled. We've still got to do the fixer foam in here. But that's being filled down here, that's being filled down there. So by the end of the day, this will be caulked, painted and finished. The aim at some stage is to have a door on here, but as you know, we're waiting for the slowest carpenter on the island to make some doors. But obviously as and when they come, that will be good. Now, the other thing we found as well, one of the things that they don't do in Barbados, don't put P-traps. P-trap meaning if there's any form of waste, it's like a little, well, a P-trap is what's under your sink. Excuse the mess. That's a P-trap. Yeah, the little, so basically like your toilet, water sits in here and it stops the smell coming up the pipe. What you are meant to do is put P-traps potentially on the inside or just on the outside of the building where the pipe's coming in. And then you feed it to where you want it to be, and then you put another P-trap on it to stop the smell from the sewage coming through. We've had a smell of sewage in here for quite some time, and we haven't been able to work out what it was. We found out that there wasn't a P-trap on the dishwasher, which, as you can appreciate, is still connected to the mains. So we put a P-trap on that, and now it's filling with water. The smell's got better, so the smell's definitely stopped coming from here. But what actually happened when we had the first set of drawings done was the architect wanted the services, so the cookers and the sinks, they were all on this wall. So rather than having these tall units on the wall, the sink was there, for instance, and the cooker was there, the hob and extra, etc. And I can't remember what this was, but cut a long story short, I completely changed it. Now, before that, there was water and sewage pipes put here for when that was going to take place, which we have obviously not used. I think what's happened is he's forgotten to put a P-trap on there because all the pipe work's in the concrete. And I also think that he's forgot to put a P-trap or a cap on the unserviced element behind this unit. And I think the smell was coming down the back of the units because we thought it was a washing machine because it smells around here. But I think there's your problem. I think it's coming through here, blowing from the other side of the room all the way down the units and blowing the smell out here, which is making it seem as if it's in here, which is not. So, biggest problem is these units have backs in them, and these ones were built and had backs put in them. All of the backs, however, have been fixed on before the units were put in. So as you can see down here, we had those put in so that when we have a coffee machine and everything in here, it will self-feed the coffee machine. Now the waste element, as far as I'm aware, is around here somewhere. So I don't know exactly where, and most of you will say, well, why don't you just take the kickboard off and have a look underneath? All of the pipe work goes into the walls in Barbados. So, in the moment, if there is a drain, waste, and hot and cold coming up, it will be in the block work, which means even if I do get underneath and look through the kickboard, I won't see whereabouts that actually is. So that is where I think it is. Now, I've been down in the basement, and there's nothing coming through the floor, which means that to make matters worse, that means it's come down the wall, then it's 90 degrees through the concrete floor, and it's gone out and joined a pipe somewhere else. So I can assume where the pipe is coming out and joining and potentially put a trap there, and that should solve it. That's my thought process. But down here, for instance, you can see the wastes and you see whatever's going through the floor because there isn't a wall here. So you can see there's the kitchen waste, hot and cold. There's the dishwasher waste, hot and cold. And there isn't any other hot and cold and waste going through here. But with that, that's a solid wall, which means they dropped all the conduits and everything through the floor and then went through the concrete. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to make an assumption on this one. And the only assumption I can make is that it goes through the concrete beam. There's a concrete beam about here. I think it goes through the concrete beam all the way down, and behind here's the bathroom. The sink comes out and joins the waste. And I think this one connects with that one and joins that waste, which means I should be able to put a trap further down and it should stop it. So that's what I'm going to do today. And stop the smell of my children and wife and me coming into the house. So anyway, that's where we are. Over here we're cutting out the steel and the windows, and obviously with my luck being so amazing, I should do the lottery. Got to be in it to win it. Obviously. What do they hit? Another goddamn pipe. Can you believe it? Now it's thin, so I'm not too sure what it feeds, and I'm not too sure. I can only assume, never assume, but I can only assume it's the small cold pipe that goes all the way through to the shower. But I'm pretty sure the shower is connected and that didn't spurt out, it just leaked. So, I suppose the other thing you can do, there's no shower head on it, but oh, it is off. Okay, so it could be that. It could be the feed. Bayesians are brilliant. It could be the feed. Yeah, so I've just turned that on and it's done that. So that's what it is. Right, great. Okay, so I've just worked it out whilst I'm live. So at the moment, that is the shower feed that for some unknown reason seems to be connected to in here. I don't know where it would be connected in here, but it's in the floor, it's connected up. And now we've got to put a connection on it. Now, what they love to do, rather than finding another one of these and trying to bend it up and put one of these in, they always love an elbow. So I'm going to try and see if we can cut this, bend it up, stick a joint in there, and then bend it into each other and join it again. So we just have basically it should look like that bit here. But anyway, can you believe it? All we're trying to do is to cut out the steels that were put in the wrong fucking place. They're not meant to be any steels in this window. This was meant to be a window, which means it doesn't need any starter bars. So all we wanted to do was cut that out that was right here, cut the one out that was there, and cut these ones out so that we can actually do the slope, and then we land up finding a friggin' pipe. Can you believe it? And we've got to do all around here. Look, there's steels all the way through here. All the way through here. So we've got to do the same thing there as well. So hopefully we don't hit any more bloody pipes. Anyway, the cottage has been a little bit neglected today because I've got the painter with me in here. He answered the question yesterday, and just to confirm, as you can see, plasterboard, that is tape and jointed. Plasterboard and plasterboard, that is tape and jointed. Plasterboard and plaster, that's corked. And then we will cork all the way around here. And the only reason why is because this surface, as you can see, is quite rough. And as soon as you fill it and sand it, which as you can see we did over here, to give an example, this is coral render, which has got a slight rough surface. And you can see the difference here, look, where we've had to fill. This was plasterboard, remember we put concrete board in here? So we literally sanded that with compound, and now you've got a smooth surface, which is what this should bloody be. And you've got that horrible 10, 12 centimetre smoothness versus coral roughness. So I hope that answers the question. Why we're going to land up corking it. My SDS is out, as you can see. And the SDS is out because what I need to do at some stage today with the spider, so I need to put some breather holes in the front of the building for the pump room for the pool and the downstairs storage area. So I started by drilling a hole straight through here. Now I remembered that this is a 12-inch slab, so I've gone down 16 inches, and believe it or not, I'm about about 3 inches from the actual ceiling inside. So now what I've got to do with this is bore this hole into here, and I need to do another one over there about 2 foot, so that allows air to come through this side. And I've got to do the same, forgive me whilst I walk around on here, tight rope. I've also got to do on the front here, so the pool room, the pump room has got to have air coming through, so I need to put 2 holes on this side, and I need to put 2 holes on this side, just to allow the air to come in and go through, because the heat pump's going to be in there working away. We're going to have quite a few bits and bobs in there running and causing havoc. So the pipe down here, which was meant to be the overflow, for some unknown reason the plumber has decided to turn that into a cold water feed in, which I'm not too sure why he's done that. So we're now going to have to punch another hole in that bloody wall. We can actually put some form of overflow in there, because if water gets in, the water needs to get out, as we've done with this bloody great one down here. The whole reason why that's in there is so that if it overflows, then it lets the water out. So the other thing I was going to show you guys very quickly was the concrete stain. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to go with it. I'm going to speak to one of the manufacturers first, because normally, like I said, off-the-shelf stuff normally isn't as good as bespoke stuff. But this is the stuff that I bought the other day. So this is on the shelf in Koymans. It is about 100 and, I think it's about 117 Bayesian, I think. But it's a solvent acrylic waterproofing concrete stain. And it's in a quite dark grey. So if we manage to get some of the things done today, we'll get the painter to start on those steps and just see what they look like. Like I said, once it's done, but dark grey concrete can't be a lot different, can it? As in, surely a dark grey will look better than a concrete finish. So anyway, that's the things we've got on so far. And I've not actually done one thing on my list so far, so I've done 3 other things that weren't on there. So now I'm going to start off with the door locks. Once I've done in here and finished the skirting boards, I'm going to get straight into doing the door locks and the latches. Apart from that, 12:30, I'll check in with you later on. Okay, 4:45, sorry about the wind. Let me have a quick look where we are. I've just returned and see where we are. We still don't have any jacks. Infra, what's going on? Infra Rentals, Donna, you're normally a legend. Does anyone know Donna from Infra? Big shout out to Donna, she's normally really, really good. But Donna, where's my jacks? Come on, give me a call. I've got no jacks. So anyway, the rebar boys have been busy today. We've got until Sunday to get this finished. They've assured me they will. They also assured me I wasn't going to have to order any more steel. Today I had to order 70 more bars. 70 bloody bars. So anyway, let me fire it around so you can have a look what's going on, especially some of you guys that understand the rebar. Okay, so these have all still got to be smocked up, by the way. So these are still got to be smocked. As I said, what they do here different is they literally run a whole corner all the way around. And as you can see, it's about 2 to 2.5 foot. All of them are bent around and connected together. There's an overlap here because these ones were obviously, this beam was extended. On this corner here, which was the, still not finished, but this is the corner. So the corner actually wraps around, the bars that are coming out of the wall and around are now leveraged into, if you see what I mean. So they're like a U shape, they actually go all the way through to tie right in. Now the bottom ones didn't actually come out here, so I'm not too sure if they're going to carry on chiseling into those, but it looks like that beam didn't actually come out where it should do, so sorry about blurring it. As you can see there, look, there's nothing really to go into, so I'm not too sure what they're going to do there. We'll ask the question. And obviously we will probably go into the top one as well. So let's have a quick look around the side. Sorry about the wind, by the way, it is windy today. Okay, so you can see the side returns. And you also see now the little mini beams that are coming through to join the front and the rears together. Again with the L-shaped bends at the top. This one is roughly the same. Yeah, it's roughly the same as well. So I haven't bent over as yet. So I'm sure they'll re-bend those tomorrow or do something else to connect them in. But they're bent around the corner of the back. You can see it coming right round like that. It is windy, so sorry about the wind. I'm trying to stay behind the wall. This one isn't connected in as yet, but you can see the main beam coming through into this beam. So this one's now coming all the way along the front. But they've not done anything with this as yet. So, but again, this is just going to be a boxed up port. This is all going to be poured with concrete, this piece here, and it's going to be separate to above. Let me have a quick look up on the roof. Up on the roof. Oh, sorry, one-handed. Going up a very flimsy ladder with one hand. It's a makeshift ladder as well. There's the makeshift ladder, look. Okay, so no bars on the roof as yet, as you can see, but obviously the beams are all in and they're all doing what they need to do. This one, as far as we're aware, is connected into the wall all the way along. So we chiseled into the wall over there. But we've ordered 70 new bars, and those bars are going to come along and are all going to be laid out, and they're going to crisscross and do their thing. The front still looks smocked up. As you can see, we're really meant to be getting to the height of over here. So this is all got to be smocked up. That's all got to be smocked up. This is all obviously got to be smocked up as well. So there'll be 3-inch smocks on this. And there'll be 2-inch smocks on the floor here. And we're going between 8 inches down to 6 inches, flowing into that corner where the 2 drains are over there, 2 gutters. Yeah. There will be some 1-inch stuff going in here as well. We want to make sure it's as stable as possible. We do have a little bit of a bulge in the middle there, looking at it from here. So we'll have to look at that as well. Again, we need the jacks because we need the jacks to stabilise the floor. But as you can see, all of the star parts here are connected in, and the corners are all completely bent around like that. That's how they've actually tied these in, which is not too bad, but in an ideal world that should be bent over here, should be bent over here, and that one should be bent up or down, as they are. They might put some extra beams in like that, I don't know. But anyway, this is where we are on the roof, so let me get down and show you the rest. Okay, right, well, the cottage is locked up, but there wasn't a great deal done in the cottage today because, as I said, I had my man inside working with me. We did obviously cut through a pipe, as you know, which we need to repair. So nothing actually happened here today because that put a hold on that. So we need to try and get that repaired tomorrow. I might even do that myself. We didn't get around to cutting the rest of it. Should have cut all these out when I was at it. I didn't get around to doing anything with the steps. Sorry guys, but I will have a look at that tomorrow. We did spend quite a bit of time inside ourselves. So again, not a great deal would have taken place inside today. It would have been mainly outside, on the garage and inside. Just put those lights back. Little lights are great actually. These lights got from Carter's. We had a little shower at Carter's. I just put them there because as and when we get anything coming onto the patio, it just lights up. Get quite a few cats. Not too sure why. Needs to be loads of cats around here for some unknown reason. I've also got all the measurements for the manholes. I thought I was going to get maybe 3 sizes and 4 of these and 6 of those and 10 of them, but no, instead I got a 14 of these. So one of that, one of that, one of that, one of that. So every single bloody manhole seems to be a different size. So that's not good. So that also means I've got to now check whether they've got the sizes, and if I haven't, I'm probably going to have to get something manufactured. So anyway, as it is at the moment, let me show you around in the house and see what we've done in here. Okay, so we haven't done anything in the bathroom, which is a pain in the butt, but we've had so many other things going on. So this has been one of our problems. So we put some filler into here today and filled all down here with a high grade compound. It's called 90. And we put some packers in here. So we packed all the way down here. Now we're going to skim that and obviously just try and keep the door frames away from the actual inside, so we've got some movement and it doesn't crack. But it's going to have architrave over here, 3 inch and 3 inch. So you're only going to have a gap about 1.5 inches in the middle. So we've had to pull that out just because that whole inside is not level and it just won't work. So that's now been done. Bedroom 3 has had all of the beading put round and it's had its first coat of compound, and the skirting boards have now been fitted all the way along, although my daughter won't be happy our bedroom's in the middle of nowhere. We've also put the first set of primers in here, so that's ready to be bolted down tomorrow, and we've also plastered in one of the frames in the walk-in wardrobe in the main bedroom. So other than that, we're pretty much, I haven't done a great deal in here today. But anyway, we have done quite a lot. But obviously from my point of view tomorrow, we've got that massive list to go through, which is going to be my main aim if I can. So other than that, it's a day over. So please like and subscribe if you're watching it. If you're new to the channel, obviously join it. We've got loads of people commenting. People that are watching, that have watched loads of times that haven't commented, get commenting. I don't know whether you're watching or not. It doesn't show me. It says how many views I've had, but it doesn't say how many and how long. So yeah, do a comment. There's been a few people in the last couple of weeks that have commented that apparently have been watching all the time, but have only just started commenting. So it'd be good to see some comments. Other than that, another day in Barbados over. I will check in tomorrow and report where we are in the hope that we get done for Sunday.